Hi guys, welcome to our channel. I am a scientist. Here in the University of Chieti I work as a postdoc. I am working in the field of computational and theoretical organometallic chemistry, physical chemistry and chemical physics. In our free time we hike in the mountains of Abruzzo. We visit its beautiful fortified villages and fortified towns, and according to me, on my opinion, this place is one of the most beautiful places in Italy. Hi, welcome to our channel. Please do not forget to make the thumbs up, to leave your comments below, and to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button. And by the way, we are now in the town of Calascio. This is the town below the castle of Rocca, Calascio. The altitude here is 1200 meters. This town was firstly known in the beginning of the 9th century. First time it was mentioned in the year 811 as the possession of the monastery at Volturno. Now this is a great touristic attraction of Abruzzo, and today we plan to go from Santo Stefano di Sessanio to this town. We shall return. We are going with a group, with a touristic group. We are going to go along the crest of the mountain of Christ, Monte di Cristo. Also, we plan to visit today the Rocca Calascio. This is the castle, one of the highest castles of the central Italy. Its position is more than 1500 meters. So it will be quite windy there, and it will be quite cold. This is Santo Stefano di Sessanio. Sessanio means 6 miles from Peltuinum, another city here. You know, this city was absolutely abandoned in the beginning of the years 90. Afterwards, some Swedish guy has bought basically 25% of this city, and he, together with the other entrepreneurs, he has invested his money into the reconstruction of this beautiful town. Hey guys, the altitude here is almost 1500 meters. We are going to the top of the mountain of Christ. That's the mountain, the crest of which is situated between the towns of Santo Stefano di Sessanio and Rocca Calascio. So we are now going up this mountain. I have run now like for 5 minutes up this very steep slope, and I should tell you, I guess there is not much oxygen at this altitude, because I feel that I need to breathe much more to get the adequate amounts of oxygen. This town was built in the 7th or 8th century, while the first mentioning of this town goes to the year 811 in the chronicles of the monastery al Volturno. It was one of the possessions of this monastery here in Abruzzo. Generally, this zone was quite prosperous because there were everywhere the customs that you needed to pass when you go with your herd from north to south or from south to north. You always go through this zone, and you need to pay the taxes to the local militia, to the local communities. That's why, for example, this town, we have now been there. Well, yes, now it's abandoned, but you can see that it was quite rich, quite prosperous before. As you know, the main agricultural richness of this place goes from a product called lenticchie. In Italian, some kind of local beans. And this lenticchia was so important that there is an interesting legend in this place. That somewhere in the 12th century, in one winter night, which was very snowy, suddenly the wind changed and it became very warm. And it became very warm and very windy. And at some moment in time, all the doors, even closed doors in this town, were suddenly opened. And in each of them, the Saint Mary has come, Saint Mary of poverty. So some kind of Saint Mary that is busy, that's occupied with poverty. It's called Santa Maria di Povertà. So, and in each house they gave to her some plate with these lenticchie, with these local beans. And she, by some magic, transformed these beans into the golden pieces. And so in one night, basically, the whole town became very rich. There was gold in each house, and this gold propagated. So basically it was growing and growing and growing. So what they did, they collected all this magic gold from the whole city, and they have hidden it under the main tower. The main tower you can see in the very center of this town. During the earthquake of 2009, it has fallen. Now it is being reconstructed. But according to this local legend, there is a big treasure of these magic gold pieces under this tower. And in one night, each winter, this gold suddenly starts to irradiate light in all the sides. And basically, you can see it through the ground where this gold is. So in this legend, basically, they show in some fairy tale form the key to the riches of this town. Its key to the prosperity was these local beans called lenticchie. Everywhere in these mountains, if you look with particular attention, you can see some black dots on the slopes. These dots are the caves. Here there are caves everywhere, which were built by the shepherds who stored their provisions, or they used them to cover themselves from snow or from rain. And basically whole this territory there are caves. Some of these caves are quite long, several hundred meters in depth. So it means that maybe not only local shepherds used them, but maybe even prehistoric people used these caves. By the way, when we were going today in the morning by the car, we went near the town of Ofena, and there are some caves. There are several caves. There are several caves there, where they found some bones of Neanderthal people, Neanderthal humans. So indeed, this territory was inhabited long time before the Roman Empire.
Next to Rocca Calascio, the most beautiful castle in Italy. Okay, I'm not sure about Italy, but it is definitely the most beautiful castle in Abruzzo. The famous movie Lady Hawk was filmed here in Rocca Calascio.
This castle is Rocca Calascio. It was built by Ruggero I de Altavilla de Hauteville in French, a Norman king of the Kingdom of Sicily. So here he was building a lot of castles. This castle was built in the very beginning of the 12th century. It is one of the highest castles in Italy, in the world too. It's the altitude here is more than 1,500 meters. It was one of several castles that built the defense line. On one hand, on the other hand, it was necessary to have an office of customs here, because the shepherds were going with their herds through this zone when they were transferring their herds to the south from north or to the north from south. So the money, the taxes were paid to the proprietors of these embattlements, of these castles, in order to leave them to pass in with their herds through these places. This castle is very famous. For example, the name of Rose, an interesting medieval thriller, was shot at this place. Sean Connery is the main actor in this movie. Also, some less interesting movie, Lady Hawk, was also this was also the scenery for that movie. The temperature here is always quite low. Even in summer, when you come here, for example, in the evening, the temperature here is quite low, below than 15 degrees centigrade. Now, today is the middle of January. The temperature here is maybe 0, -2 degrees, and the wind today is not very strong. We are quite fortunate, since, for example, our guide has told us that 1 week ago she went to this place. The wind was 40 kilometers per hour. It's basically a hurricane. It was very cold, I guess. This church is called Madonna della Pietà, so Saint Mary of the Pity. This church was built somewhere in the year 1500. It was built for the passing shepherds. They were given rich donations to this church always when they were going through this zone with their herds. Its form was originally an octagon with the width 5.5 meters. Later, this on its side, a little building was also added to this church, which makes it less beautiful than it was. It's called Madonna della Pietà. It's one of the churches, one of the most high churches by the altitude in Abruzzo. This zone was the barony of Carapelle. Carapelle consisted of 7 fortified towns, one of which was Calascio. This fortress is on top of a mountainous crest that goes up from the town of Calascio. This place is full of tourists. Even now, although the temperature is -2 degrees centigrade, we have met already a couple of Russians here. I can also hear French and German languages here in this crowd that it's quite small. For Abruzzo, I guess this place is the most visited in Abruzzo, I think, on one hand. On the other hand, I should tell you, we have been here in September and October. At that time, here is really a hot season. There are Chinese, there are Japanese, so it's basically the most touristic place in Abruzzo. We were very surprised each time when we came here.
Nee, dat scheelt wel. Je gaat de zomer tegemoet. Ook wel weer iets meer van de warmte. S'avonds is het nog veel en als je economie fammi qualche complimento.
Hey guys, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell button, like our video, leave the comments below, and in the comment section could you please answer to a question: which castle do you consider the most beautiful in the world, or which castles do you consider the most beautiful in the world?